Hello children. Today we are going to look at this chapter animal behavior, and in that we have a subtopic which is called as investigating behavior. Now we have seen two types of behaviors, that is animal behavior and also human behavior. Okay, right? Now after we have seen these two kind of behaviors, now we will be looking at investigating behavior. So that means what? How is that we have come up? We have concluded that there are different types of behavior shown by animals. Okay, right? Now in that, the first one is investigations in the field. Okay, investigations in the field. Now when I talk about investigations in the field, I should be talking about the National Geographic Channel or Sony BBC Earth or the Discovery Channel or the Nat Geo Wild Channel. Okay, so when I'm taking the names of these channels, okay, and also Animal Planet. Okay, so when I'm taking the names of these channels, what do I mean? I am referring to the investigations that the scientists who are presenting that particular program do. They go to the field, okay, they catch different animals, okay, they go to different habitats in which those animals stays. They analyze the habitat in which those animals are present, okay, and they will judge how these animals are living together, and they also judge how an animal can live a solitary life. Solitary life means a single life, okay, right? Single life in the sense what? Alone, living alone. How is that happening? Now these investigators, or I will say scientific investigators, they spend hours together with those animals. Okay, they spend hours together with those animals and they try to investigate how these animals are behaving in groups and how these animals are behaving when they are alone. Okay, is that clear? Now let me take a simple example. All of you might be knowing about crocodiles. Okay, now crocodiles, they generally live in small groups. Okay, now in that there is a alpha male which is a dominant organism or which is a dominant animal. Now when there is a mating season comes, okay, when it's time for the female to lay eggs, okay, the first chance the female gives is to the dominant male. So during this period of time, that is before engaging with the female, all the males, they do a kind of they vibrate their body in the water. Okay, now that shows and that the female decides with which male it has to come, but in order to do that, the male has to get a right to have a crossing over with that particular female. Okay, so these kind of behaviors when it is seen, okay, these kind of behaviors when they are seen, these behaviors are seen when the female actually first approaches the alpha male or the dominant male in that particular pack. But the alpha male, in order to become that particular alpha male, has to go through many fights with the other males in the particular swamp. Okay, right? Now that is how am I able to tell all this information? Because this information is being investigated by the scientists in the field. So they are going to those places where the animals are staying. Okay, right? Then the next example I can give you in basically investigating in the field is the anaconda. Okay, now you know that anacondas are snakes. They are primitive snakes, okay, and in these primitive snakes, the males are generally smaller than compared to females. Okay, females go to very huge size. Okay, right, and anacondas being cold-blooded, they lay eggs. Okay, now anacondas being primitive, okay, the males have small hook-like structures like this. Okay, small hook-like structures. Now these structures, they go and tweak the female in this manner, okay, in order to get the right to mate with her. Okay. Now, in the culture of anaconda, okay, there are approximately 20 males which go and mate with the female in one go. Okay. So, what happens is, if say for example, this is the female anaconda, okay, okay, this is the female anaconda, okay, okay, this is the female anaconda is there, okay. Now, what these males will do, they will go and wrap themselves around this, okay, they will go and wrap themselves like this. They can be around 20 to 25 snakes, male anacondas, which go and wrap around the female like this, okay, like this way. Now, these are all snakes basically, mind you, they are not any wings or anything for the female, they are basically the snakes. These are male anacondas. Okay, they are male anacondas, and this one is a female. Okay, right? Now, when they are wrapped around the female, they use these small horn-like structures like this, and they tweak the body of the female like this. Okay, they tweak the body of the female like this. Now, this entire thing of a male wrapping around a female, okay, this entire thing is called as a breeding bowl. Is called as a breeding bowl. Okay, right? Now, or I can also say it's not a bowl, it is a ball, breeding ball, or a breeding bowl, or a ball, breeding ball. Breeding ball is more specific. Okay, okay, right? It is not B-A-L-L, it is B-O-L-L, breeding ball. All right, okay, right? Now, this kind of say behavior in animals was investigated by scientists. Okay, they have investigated it. Now, finding this type of breeding ball is very difficult. Okay, and because of these wildlife scientists, they go to an extent, we are getting all this information. Okay, so scientists, when they are investigating behavior, they go to various lengths. They go to the maximum lengths to get this information. Okay, now sometimes they also encounter dangers because of this. Okay, so they take all the knowledge possible, but still they are encountered with dangers. Now that we can't help it. Okay, but they are so curious about investigations, they go and investigate, they take the risk, and they are giving us information like this. All right, is that clear? Now, going to the next one, which is tagging. Okay, now when we talk about tagging, okay, I'll just remove this. Tagging. Now, when we say tagging, now what does this tagging mean? Tagging means putting a small kind of a tracking device in a particular animal. Okay, so what do these scientists do? Now, say for example, you have a snake that is a black mamba, which is a very dangerous snake, and it is also a very poisonous snake which is found in Africa. Now, it is also a very fast snake. So, scientists, they don't go around tracking it every now and then, so that they don't follow the snake, because it is actually disturbing their natural environment. So what do scientists do? They tag. So what is tagging? They put a radio transponder. Okay, so what do? They put a radio transponder, okay, and they leave the snake alone, or even they put a tag like a tag which we tie to our dogs, to lions or tigers to track. Okay, they put a radio transponder, so that tag will have a radio transponder, or that radio transponder will be a small instrument which will be kept inside a particular organism's or animal's body. Okay, now after they put that, they leave the organism, okay, and that transponder will be sending the signals, okay, to that particular receiver which is there with the scientists, okay, right. So when they do that, without disturbing the animal in its natural environment, the scientists are able to track that particular animal as to wherever it is going, track its habitat, and to which habitat it is going and staying, which habitat it is preferring to stay more than compared to the other habitat. Okay, right. Now then, what is the prey organism of that particular animal? Okay, so what kind of prey that animal is having, it is preferring to. Say for example, if we take cobras, okay, if you take a king cobra, the favorite food for the king cobra is the cobra itself. Okay, right. That is, it can eat other cobras as well, the king cobra. Okay. Now, if we take another snake, say for example, if we take a rattlesnake, or if we take a say gagoon viper. Okay, so all these snakes, their favorite meal is rat. Okay, so that is why these snakes go and come in human intervention. Now, scientists, what they do, once they put the radio transponder into the body or onto the neck of that or the collar of the particular animal, they start tracking their behavior. Okay, right. And after, say for example, after say 1 month or 2 months, what they will do, they will go and they will try to track the animal in the wild. Okay, so same way they tag or they tie a collar onto the neck of a tiger or a lion or an elephant even, okay, to track its behavior, okay, to go where it is going. Okay, now this is basically how scientists do their particular research. But even animals, they send signals, okay, they send signals to each other. Okay, right. So when they send signals to each other, say for example, if you have seen ants, they move in line, okay, and they touch each other and then go back. So what are they doing? They are actually transferring the scent, okay, which from one ant to another, so that it can go to the place where the food is coming from. Okay, right. Now that is a natural tracking. Now elephants also sense the vibrations on the ground, okay, and then they try to warn the other herd. Okay, right. So this is basically, that is basically natural tagging. This is basically artificial tagging. Okay, right. So this investigations in the field and investigations in the, so that is tagging of an animal, helps the scientists to research more about the behavior of that particular organism. Okay, right. So I hope that you have understood this topic, investigating behavior. I will see you in the next class. Thank you so much.